Hello everyone. So I finally have some cards to share that I made using the November 2023 Your Creative Studio subscription stationery box. So I'm just showing you a quick view of what came in that box. These are the stamps, stickers, washi, another sticker sheet, and there were a variety of papers as well as these papers that came with some stickers and some like journal cards. And so that's just kind of a brief reminder. If you want to see the whole box opening, check in iCard, or hopefully I can put it in the description below, yeah, to get some more information on that. So there was a theme of kind of detective, like Sherlock Holmes like, and I thought that would make perfect masculine cards. So I've gone ahead and prepped some of this with gluing certain things on already. And then I have my little glue here. And I made my own card bases. Since they're masculine cards, I went with some craft type cardstock. I wish this was a little bit thicker, but this is what I had. And this, I think this is the art paper one, and then this would be just the paper one, and you get vellum and sticker paper. So this is what the whole sheet looks like. Can't quite fit it in frame because I zoomed in. And I just cut it down to a standard A2 size, just a little bit shorter to give myself a little border for an A2 card. And I wanted to feature this kind of vintage looking or antique microscope. I think that's what that is. Not entirely sure, but yeah. So we're going to go ahead and glue this on. Yeah, and it makes a beautiful focal point. If you just wanted to make note cards, you could call that it and be done. Now, this is a combination, so I've backed it on the black cardstock, and then I took one of these scrap papers from the small paper ephemera pack. It was just kind of a label, a square label. And then this guy here, he's on the art paper. This is the sticker paper here, it's the full sheet. You can see it's this sheet, and I've just cut him out, and I had to trim off, you can see the little gear there, quite a bit of the edge, but in order to fit that. But I thought that would make a nice focal point here on the side. Now I've used some, my poor little camera's not going to focus very well, fun foam for some dimension here. It's adhesive backed, but it's only adhesive backed on one side, so. And I'm going to put this in the top right hand corner here. Roughly somewhere. Now, for the sentiment, I just wanted this to kind of be a generic one, so I've used the Spellbinders kit. This is from the September 2021 Together is the Best, and had this telephone die, which is really cool, but I don't use very much. But this is one of the sentiments that came with that. Let's see. And it says, "Hello, you." You can kind of tell that there, yeah. So we're going to, and I have, let's see if this, oh, I should have kept it up there. You can't really tell, but it's 3 times. I cut it out 3 times, so to give that thickness. And I used scrap, you can see the, alright, and that is card number 1. So I'm having to switch over to voice over here, so hopefully there's not too much change. So moving on to card number 2, here's the full-size paper that I used from the box, and I just took this bottom portion. I don't know, I just thought the roses weren't as masculine, so I was kind of trying to avoid the pretty roses there for my background paper. And of course I've backed it onto some black cardstock again, and then I will add some glue here and press it down onto my craft card base. So for the sentiment on this card, I'm using a different stamp set, but for the stamps, the focal images, this stamp set came in the box, and there's this stamp that kind of looks like an evidence card, and then the light bulb stamp that I used. And so here's the ink. I used Distress Oxide on this. I stamped both sides, and one side was kind of more, it didn't show up, so this was the one I liked better. And I just crumpled it up in my fist to get the wrinkles, and then I used a lot of wet glue on there because it's got more dimension and texture because of those wrinkles, but I liked a little more of that distressed look to go with that. So here is the stamp set that I used for the sentiment, and it comes with this cutting die, and the one that I thought for this card was down here at the bottom. I finally found it, A Bright Future. right there. And so it comes with wishing you, and then it has all these other sentiments. And I use this sentiments on a further card later without the wishing you, which you'll see coming up. So I've stamped and cut these out on black cardstock, and since it's on the black, I used, which I think I'll show you in a moment, is some white pigment ink this time for that. And I'm just kind of laying these out, trying to make sure I have room for everything. And that there's balance in the card as well. So putting down my little rectangle sentiment. This is a great way to use up scrap rectangles also, if you think ahead at least. I kind of always forget, but if it's a good 1/2 inch or, maybe 1/4 inch, it's perfect size for a little sentiment strip, and you can make them ahead. So here's the ink I used. It's Unicorn Hero Hues. I've had pretty good success with that. In fact, this time I went a little crazy and I didn't even use a stamping press. I just used a block. And this is, you can see, it's a good stamp. If you use a platform where you can restamp in the same place, you could probably get it even a little darker and brighter, but I didn't do that this time. So then I put my light bulb on, and that's the bright future part. At least that's what I was thinking. So for card number 3, here is the pattern paper that I used. And this time I sort of took a chop off of the top section and backed it to the black cardstock and onto the craft card base that I made. Again, this is another landscape orientation card. So here we had these cute little journal-like cards that came in a paper ephemera pack from the box. And I'm just showing you both sides because they are double-sided, which is super cool. But they gave us, I think, several of the smaller size, only one of the larger ones, so I haven't used those because it's hard to cover up one side when you only have one of them. But the smaller ones, you had plenty, and so I trimmed off the edges, and then for this card, I have the stamp that came in the box. First, I stamped it out with pigment ink, and it just didn't ever seem to dry on the surface. And so this second time around, I went with StazOn ink because I've stamped it here onto vellum, and I wasn't even sure if it was dry at that point, so you saw me testing it with the paper towel. But that one I only left for minutes, and it dried. It's a little bit less dark, but the other one just is smudging all over the place. So I just showed you a couple of the stamp sets there. For this one, again, it was the sentiment stamp set that I used in the previous card. It says a happy birthday. It's kind of meant to go with the wishing you, but I wanted to go with this whole I Spy theme because of the magnifying glass. And I used some simple letter stamps. I actually do have some small, like, peg alphabet stamps, but I have put them somewhere and I could not find them. And they have more of a little bit of a typewriter font, which was what my original vision for this card was. But this one's not too bad, and it goes. So I stamped out I Spy, and then we have a happy birthday, and I'm going to place the magnifying glass there, and I just used the wet glue to adhere this vellum. Sometimes this is great, this Nouveau glue. Sometimes you can see it, but this one dries perfectly clear, so I rub it in, and I gotta lay something on it to get it flat because the vellum wants to curl up with that wetness. But I didn't give it a whole lot of time, folks. I just kind of pushed it down because I wanted to get this filmed in a timely manner. And then I'm just trimming off the excess here. You can see the glue hasn't fully dried, but it's all good, And if there's a little edge curling up, I can always add a little glue later. But this is how it looks after probably less than a minute. And I think it turned out great. So for the 4th card, here is this beautiful pattern paper that I have used a couple times in the cards. This one here, I took the bottom portion and put it onto the black card, as seems to be the theme here. Love that, bringing it together with that black border. This time I'm showing you that I just left a scant, 1/8 of an inch border. I'm not exactly sure why, but that was what I was going with, so slightly different on that card. And this one also uses these little journal card elements, and you can see how the borders aren't the same all around, like the side border is wider, and that is kind of one of the main reasons that I trimmed it down, but also because, you know, the size fit better with my black border and adding that accent. So yeah, I'm just cutting off the rounded corners. Also didn't go with this theme. I mean, I could have rounded all the other edges, but so this is my sentiment here. This is a former Spellbinders card kit sentiment, so that might be harder to get, but I just liked the simple lines of this sentiment, and you could probably stamp it out and just add it on a piece of paper, but I really liked this one for this card, and I'm placing it here. I'm going to go above that border because I didn't want to cover that up, but some kind of simple happy birthday. And I just kind of thought it went with the whole time is of the essence. There's sort of a time theme going on. That's what I was thinking. And so that's why I thought it would make a decent birthday card. I put, well, it's hard to get the right amount of glue on these tiny little sentiment dies, but I got more than enough, so I dabbed it off, and then here is how this turned out. And with this card, I was thinking you can totally alter the color theme. I love this kind of teal color that's in the background, and I think this card would also work for a feminine card too, or someone who really likes those colors and you want to bring more of that out. I was thinking just switch the black to white and the teal colors there. So for the fifth card, it's a little different here. I went with, this was in the one of the ephemera paper packs, and I've trimmed it down. It had 2 of each, so you can see there, and I've just inked the edges with some black ink that I had on hand just to help it stand out. And because it's cut kind of like random, like not on a border, I liked the inked edge there to kind of give some separation there. So that's my background paper. This is still a masculine card. It's sort of, the veering is it kind of goes off from the whole detective theme because I didn't really use any of the detective type stuff in this card, but it did come from mostly, I mean, well, that one paper came from this box, and I am going to pull in a sticker from a previous box. And these 2 papers came from the November box also. I think it might have, yeah, I think it was in the same ephemera pack that this background paper came in. It had this beautiful vellum envelope that it came in. And these 2 were kind of sort of travel themed. You can see it's a type of ticket, passengers. So I am just going to stagger them here on the front. And then I have this lovely focal point of a washi sticker that I'm going to put in front of it, and it almost matches that background car identically. It's slightly different, but very similar, which I thought was pretty cool considering that washi sticker came from, I believe, from the very first Your Creative Studio box I ever purchased, which was way back. We'll see in a moment here because I looked it up for you. So here, placing this down. Now, if, you know, you're new to the box or you just don't have these supplies, you could use any other focal point in that bottom corner, probably like, you know, sticking with the auto theme because of the Ford and the vintage ugly. So yeah, way back July 2021 I'm pretty sure it came from this one. You see those shoes there, the washi shoes. There were a pack of vellum stickers, and the vellum stickers had cars, lots of vintage autos in it as well. It was very masculine themed, and I think they'll be great for masculine cards with the right pairings. And then sure enough, we've got this great paper and it goes really well. So with the washi sticker, I'm just kind of pulling off part of it so that I can stick down part of it and have the backer paper still there to help me align the rest of it. And I don't want to get it, it's very sticky, so I didn't want to get it stuck to my fingers, so I'm kind of careful about this process here. But again, you could use a tire, I had a previous, I'll try to link that up in the corner, previous video where I made some masculine cards where I actually made a tire out of circle punches, so you could put something like that there. And this one's just going to stay blank because I couldn't think of a sentiment. If you could think of a sentiment, let me know. So I am going to show you briefly all 5 cards again. And as always, thank you for watching and supporting my channel. I love to hear your comments and your thoughts. And as always, again, I hope you have a wonderful and creative day. Bye!